Today I'm going to show you how to use a visual presenter. Hi there, my name is Ed Tchoi. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. In my channel, I talk about everything to do with the office, and today we're talking about visual presenters. Now, ELMO is probably one of the most famous or infamous, shall we say, document camera or visual presenter out on the market. It was, of course, made famous publicly in the O.J. Simpson trial where the judge said, put it on the ELMO. Well, many generations later, now we have document cameras or visual presenters that are fairly compact in size. So the one we're going to review today is called the MXP-2 from ELMO. Now this is just going to be a really high-level overview of what a visual presenter is. This is also going to be a series of videos that I'm going to be doing where I'm going to be reviewing document cameras or visual presenters more in depth. So in terms of visual presenters, they used to be large monstrosities, and look how compact they are. Not only are they compact, but the resolution is super high at 4K, 16x digital zoom. This is truly impressive in such a small package. Now this is small enough, of course, to put into your laptop bag or your backpack to bring around with you. But before we begin, you might be asking, what is a visual presenter? Well, quite simply put, it's a camera on a stick. Let me unfold this camera and I'll show you what it looks like. This is the MXP-2. We're gonna raise the unit up here. Get that out. It's kind of like Jenga blocks. And then boom. So this is the camera portion over here. There is a light in it. So you can also rotate the camera depending on what you want to focus on. Now you might be asking, well, can I do this with an iPhone and stream this to my Apple TV? You probably can, but I'm a firm believer of having the right device for the right application. The iPhone just can get a little bit finicky when you try doing things. It's also not stable. You'll have to find a stand for it. And essentially it doesn't have all these features like the 16x digital zoom, and it's just not meant for presentations. So in terms of connectivity, it's pretty easy. There's a power supply here. You can connect it to your computer via USB. There's an HDMI output or a VGA output as well. In today's case, and in my preference, in terms of ease of application, is using the HDMI output. So first off, what I'm going to do is plug in the power right over here. And then I'm going to take the HDMI output and plug it in. Once that's connected, you'll get a little red dot here. In order to turn it on, it's quite simple. You just press on the power switch. It'll take a few moments for it to fire up, and once it does, then we get the camera that's live on my screen. So now you might be asking, okay, now we've got a camera on a stick. It's nice and lovely. Who actually uses these? A lot of classrooms use them. For example, if I'm doing a little class on geology, look at this. This is a fossilized shark tooth. I'm going to get my autofocus here. And you can see now I can zoom it in so the whole class can see it. So picture this being on a big projector screen or a big flat panel TV inside a classroom setting. You can see how awesome this would be for the kids to see it. Now I've got a dry erase, essentially it's a sticker, it's a post-it dry erase surface that I'm using in conjunction with the document camera. What makes this cool is that it allows me to point out different features, and I can actually do a little bit more of a lesson plan as opposed to just holding up a little fossil and talking to the group. So that's great for education. In terms of business applications, there's a lot of applications really when it comes to business using a visual presenter, and I really think it's underutilized in the world of business. So let's take, for example, I'm a salesperson and I represent Zebra pens, and I want to do a demonstration of the pen. Now, if I were presenting to an audience, to say my resellers or distributors, and I want to talk to them about a certain device, this pen is a little bit small to hand around. Yeah, I can probably give the pen to each person around the room and talk about it, which would be pretty cool. But you can also put it underneath a visual presenter like this and talk about the different features of the pen itself. Perhaps you want to go over how to dismantle the pen, for example. So you can take everything apart. I'm going to just zoom back out so we can have a bigger view of it. You can talk about the construction of the pen, how great the stainless steel is. You can leave it there. So it becomes just a little bit more interactive than just having a pen that everybody has and then you just talking about it. So again, if I was a salesperson selling little widgets, little products like this would be a good application for a visual presenter. If I was a coin collector, for example, this would be great for grading my coins and looking at the edges. Likewise, if I was a card collector, we can put my cards down here, and maybe I'd want to digitally zoom in a little bit to see kind of how good the edges are, the grading of the coin. So the visual presenter is just a great way of projecting little objects onto a big screen. So that's probably the best way to describe it. In terms of the use of this, it's super easy. You can see there, I didn't have to fiddle with much. I just connected to my screen. Again, it could be a projector or a big flat panel display. I plug in the power supply, and if I wanted additional lighting, there's a light button here that I can put on the additional light. In this case, I have enough light in my studio. So it's very simple operation, but it has a huge wow factor when you're doing a presentation like this. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a series of videos I'm gonna be doing. I just want to introduce the idea of visual presenters to you. And now we're gonna go into fun stuff in my next video where I'm gonna be actually diving into the software, further capabilities of what these visual presenters can do for you. If you like this video, please do me a huge favor and forward this to your friends, family, and coworkers. And by now, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Press on the subscribe button and remember to tap on that bell so you can be notified of my weekly video uploads. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.